All right, to access the cut list and cost form, we're going to click under classwork and we're going to find project plans here. And when we find the project plans, we're going to scroll down to the cut list and cost form. And then there is the option at the bottom here to view assignment. So we're going to click on that. It's going to then take you to the assignment page. And you're going to have a few different things. There's a video on how to fill this out. That's probably the most useful thing here. There's some examples of what it should look like when you're done. And then mainly what we're looking for is the cut list and cost form right here. This is going to be your copy to fill out. When it opens up, the very first thing you need to do is put your name in here. This is going to be one of the only sets of plans that have your name on them. So if you leave your project plans in the shop and we want to know whose they are because you've left them out and you've left the class now, this is going to be one of the only views that have your name on it. So make sure you put your name up here in the green box before you start filling out the information. So this is what our cut list looks like. We have names of different parts and you can delete these or take them out if you don't need them. Feel free to edit it that way. The yellow part is going to be for your finish sizes. This is going to be after it's jointed, cut to size, and pretty much ready for installation. Your rough sizes, those are your parts that are 2 inches longer than you typically need. That allows us to joint the board and then cut it down and square it up once we get it worked down. And then over here on the very far side, it's going to calculate your board feet for you and tell you how much board feet each piece is that you're using. All right, so how we're going to fill this out, most of your pieces are going to be 1 inch thick. The only time that might change is if you're building like a nightstand that has 4 legs that are maybe 2 inches square. So for a normal one like our demonstration, we're going to just put 1 inch thick for all this stuff. Now we'll start with the face frame styles. If we look at the example set of plans, I had you label pieces, and this is where that's going to come in handy. So styles, we have a style here. The other one on this one is over here. So 2 styles that we have. So we have a quantity of 2. How long are they, or their length? If we look, it looks like they go from the bottom of the top to the floor. And we see that measurement right here at 28 inches long. So I'm going to put in 28. No symbols. It knows you're talking about inches. It wants a number only. And no fractions. If it needs to be a partial number, you need to put a decimal format. And the width, if we come back over here to the side and look, we don't have one exactly telling us, but one of our face frame pieces is labeled 1.5 inches. So we're going to go with that. Remember, decimal format 1.5, enter. You can see it calculates all that and will actually put in your total board feet for both of those pieces that it takes. All right, so now we're going to do the next piece. We got our top rail. So we come over here and look, our top rail is right up here. Our top rail is going to be 1.5 inches wide. We have that, so we can come over here and put that in, 1.5. And we have just one top rail, just one of them. And its length is going to be, that is not dimensioned on here. So we might have to do some simple math again. That's 1.5 inches on each side. So 1.5 inches plus 1.5 inches is 3. 3 inches. So 12 minus 3 is going to be 9. So our length is 9 inches. So we have one of them that's 9 inches by 1.5. Now our center rail, okay, right here in the middle, we're going to have one of those. It's also going to be 1.5 inches wide. And it's going to be the same length, 9 inches. So we have one at 9 and 1.5. All right, our next one is our bottom rail. We're going to have one bottom rail. Its width is going to be right here, 4.5 inches wide. Its length is going to be the same length as the other one. So 9 inches long and 4.5 inches wide. All right, so then we're going to move on down to our front foot. Now, our front foot, let me see if this example plan does not have that on there. There it is, okay? Our front view with the foot. So when you draw the trim on, it's only going to hang off 3/4 to 7/8 of an inch off of each side, and it's 3 inches tall. So our front foot, we only have one front, okay? What is its length? Its length is dimensioned right here, 13.5, and its width is 3 inches. Side foot. So if we come over to the side view now and look for that, here's our side view. We have we're going to have two of these because there's one on each side of the cabinet. Their length is 12 3/4, so 12.75, and again 3 inches wide. All right, slab door. This is a view you'll need to have also for your project, and so we have that plan right here. So our door, or slab door, is 10 inches wide and 15.5 inches long. So we're only going to have one door on this cabinet, and its length is 15.5 and its width is 10. And we have a drawer front. That's the solid drawer front, not the plywood one. We already drew the plywood one on the plywood. And if we zoom this over here, we can see, according to these plans, 10 inches long by 7 inches wide. So one drawer, 10 inches long, 7 inches wide. And the only other piece that we need here, well, two more pieces, but our top edge. Okay, we're gonna have to look at two different views to find the length of our top. So I told you the grain always runs side to side, so we know which way the grain is running. So this is gonna be 15 inches long, according to this view, with an 1.5 inch overhang, 15 inches long. So I'm gonna have one top, 15 inches long. And I'm gonna come to the side view now, and the side view is gonna give us the width. So with no overhang on the back, but an overhang on the front, we're going to be 13.5. So 13.5. The only thing we have left are the two drawer slide supports, and our back view is going to give us those. We're going to make them about 2 inches shorter than we see here. So we'll go about 10 inches by what we see here. So that's one drawer slide support. There's the other drawer slide support. So we're going to have two of those, and they're going to be about 10 inches, we said, 2 inches shorter than the cabinet, and they're going to be 3 inches wide. So for this cabinet, this should be all the solid lumber pieces that we need. Okay, you're just looking at your plans. What is solid lumber? How many? How long? How wide? And the thickness on most of yours is going to be 1 inch. Calculates the board feet. It adds for some waste for cutting off the board ends, things like that. And then it's going to throw it over or fill it over to the cost form. So on this same document down at the bottom, we're on Cutlist, is cost form. So I click cost form, and this one is pretty simple for filling out. Is you have solid oak. That number came over from the other Cutlist that we just filled out. Plywood. 3/4 inch plywood. We drew that out, and that was only going to be a half a sheet for this one. And just a minute ago, I told you we only had one door when we were laying out solid lumber, and we have one drawer for drawer slides. So our project rough cost on this little nightstand would be about $105 when we're done. So that's how we fill that out. Again, the sets of door hinges, you're pretty much putting the quantity of doors that you have, because that's a set. And then same with drawer slides. Those are set of slides. So you just need, for however many drawers you have, you just put quantity, 1, 2, whatever you may have. 1/4 inch oak plywood, we didn't draw that out, but you're going to be using less than a half a sheet, and that's going to be for your backing and your drawer bottom. Now, that could actually be about 1/4 of a sheet, depending on how big your project is. This particular small project's probably only going to be about 1/4 sheet of plywood that we would need for that. Hopefully this helps with laying out your plans, and if you have any questions, let me know.